Hey everybody, welcome to American Idol Unaired. I'm your host, Bennett Shear, and today we have got for you another aired exception. These are conversations with contestants that did air on American Idol, but we still love to get their story. So please welcome from season 20, Cameron Whitcomb.
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Worked 12 hours today. It's kind of been my life lately, trying to save up for this album and save up for the next season of kind of gigging and that sort of thing. So yeah.
Well, dude, already thank you for coming on the show, but especially after a long day like that, man, appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us. You know, it means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, my pleasure. I've seen you talk to a lot of my buddies and stuff, and I've just been really busy, but I'm glad I finally had an opportunity to sit down. Thanks for having me on, for sure.
It's funny. I actually feel like, I didn't know what to expect when starting this podcast, but it's actually really fun doing these interviews as it's been a little bit of a long time since the show, because kind of reflecting, once it's been a minute is a little bit different from like doing the press right after you've come off the show, especially because you're so used to the go of like all these different places that want to hear from you. Now it's been a little while. I'm sure it kind of is a little bit of a different perspective maybe to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's given me more to talk about, like when you're doing the interviews kind of right as the show's going, it's like it's one after the other sort of thing, and it's like it's the same questions and the same answers for the most part every now and again, and every now and again there's like kind of different, but now it's kind of like I've probably had a lot more time to reflect, you know what I mean? So it's like more to talk about, maybe different stuff. And but yeah, no, life's been good. It's for like the summer, once kind of ended, I was gigging lots and I was like learning how to, perform live, and like I was kind of managing myself for the most part. Like I was setting up these shows and doing all this stuff, and it was awesome. And but now everything's slowed down, so I'm back to work.
Yeah. Gosh, where do we start? There's so much to kind of unpack here, but obviously it's starting from the beginning. Like before you get on the show, I want to hear what got you into music and where it all started for you and how long you had really spent pursuing this stuff before Idol came into the picture.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I'm actually a way better drummer than I am a singer. Like, you know what I mean? I've always, I played drums since I was like 10 or something, right? I could kind of wail and sing, but nothing that sounded any good, and the confidence was not there, because I didn't think I was a singer by any means, but I started listening to Tyler Childers kind of, I guess it must have been 2 years ago now, maybe just about year and a half sort of thing, right before Idol. First like a few months before Idol, I was posting these like karaoke clips. I'd get home and I'd sit on my couch, I'd set up my phone, and I'd put on like Tyler Childers karaoke, and I'm looking back at those videos like rough, like so rough, man. Like I'm just trying to and whatever, but I ended up kind of taking, like, I just kept trying to sound like who I wanted to be, like totally ripping off a lot of the stuff, like the little squeals and whatever, I don't know, but it's so I kind of found my style that way. And then I don't even know how it happened. Like I wasn't a confident singer by any means, or zero vocal training, just kind of sang on my couch. And then I was like posting videos on Reddit, and a casting agent found me on Reddit and said, "Hey, do you want to come audition for Idol?" I was like, "Yeah, nice try," like whatever. And then they were like, "No, really?" And I'm like, "Wow, this is real." And then I told them I was Canadian. Then they said, "Yeah, no, sorry, unfortunately, Canadians aren't on the." I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then they text me back like 2 weeks later, and yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then I went to Texas and so on and so
Wait,
forth.
so they said no because you aren't Canadian, but then they figured out how to make it work despite being Canadian?
Exactly. Yeah, they initially said no, and then about 2 weeks went by of just hearing nothing, and I thought that was it pretty much. And then they were like, okay, we have a few Canadian exceptions, and we're like, that's pretty cool.
It's funny.
I was just, my heart was pounding the whole time. I felt like I won the show as soon as the guy said I had an opportunity to audition. I think that's why it went so good for me, I think, is just because I throughout the whole thing felt like a winner regardless. Like, so it felt like I was content with where I was at, no matter how far I got. And I was just there to do my best and meet people and like, yeah. So that's kind of how it went for me.
A lot of talent from Canada this season. You got Nicolina, you've got Raymond Salgado, Ishan, some of those unaired people. I mean, a lot of you guys really came in representing strong.
I remember me and Raymond, cause he was there and I was there, and I was like, oh man, it never ended up happening. I think because we were on, I don't know, but I wanted to, I was like, hey man, like, you got to give me my first singing lesson, man. Like, I have to come to your hotel room. You have to teach me how to sing before this. And yeah, we never ended up hanging out, but I seen him lots there, and man, he's incredible. Like, he is incredible. Great dude, great to be around. Yeah.
Even just going back a couple seasons to see what Lauren Spencer Smith has done, she to go on the show, only make top 20, but then look what happens. I mean, it just goes to show, for you finishing top 20, you never know. You don't have to win the show. But
Well, me and Lauren's, yeah, exactly. Like, me and Lauren's moms are good buddies.
Mm-hmm.
We went to different high schools, but I definitely knew Lauren growing up lots, and we were buddies. Actually, when I found out I was going to be on the show, I called her and I was like, hey, like, what am I getting into here? Like, what's happening here? And then I called her before Hollywood Week as well. She gave me the full rundown, but still, no matter what she said, I that's not what I expected it to be. But yeah, Lauren's absolute sweetheart. Yeah, she definitely helped prepare me for whatever American Idol is. Like, it's definitely it's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, you said you felt like a winner just finding out you were going to be on the show. So once you actually get to Texas, what is your mind? I mean, are you here to win? Are you just here to, get through the audition? Like, what are you expecting out of the experience once you get there?
I didn't know. Man, just trying to run through it in my head. I'm like, it's yeah, I kind of just went day by day, and throughout the day it was like several times where I'd like a surge of anxiety would like just shoot through my body, and it would like, I would like realize where I am, what I'm doing. And that's pretty much how it was for a day or two. I think I was day one. And yeah, everything just feels like a fever dream. Like, it doesn't feel kind of real. And then you almost get used to it to an extent. Like, well, I don't know, like, throughout it was such a big part of my life, right? Like, 6 months of my life was just American Idol. And keep in mind, I'm doing this, right? It was like 3 days in Texas and then 2 months with nothing, right? Just getting ready. Like, I started taking vocal lessons. I was working 72 hours a week, pipelining. Like, I'm working my ass off, saving up cash, and also, taking vocal lessons, doing all this. I quit drinking. I quit. I smoked a pack a day prior to American Idol. And as soon as I found out I was going to be on the show, I quit cold turkey. I was like, wow, there's no way I can continue to do this, which sucks. I love cigarettes, but I don't smoke anymore, and I don't vape or none of that. And I'm like, it was a cool thing what it did for my overall health. Like, just, I felt like I'm ready for this, especially after the golden ticket. It was such like a confidence boost. Like, it just, it was such a, like, I felt like I had purpose, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna make my life revolves around that. And a lot of it wasn't easy at all, but like, I I felt like it felt good, right?
But not only is it commendable that you, I mean, gosh, to quit cold turkey, right? But also the commitment when you don't know what's going to come out of it. I mean, anytime you go into a competition, obviously only one can win, but for everybody else, like you said,
Mm.
it's a fever dream. It's probably an out of body experience. And, you're used to whatever life was before this. And so it may be tempting to be like, well, why should I change my life, alter my lifestyle for this thing that I don't know what the outcome is going to be? But it's like you knew in your mind and your body, like, hey, this could make a difference for me. So now I need to show up for it and take it seriously. And I think that that's something that not everybody could say that they did, because not everybody takes this opportunity the way that you did and understands what it could mean for you.
Yeah, yeah, and I it was hard to say, like, we all had a general understanding of how we're all feeling. You know what I mean? There was a few people that you could tell right off the bat that they knew they were too good for this or something, and they immediately got, like, by the time we got to um duet rounds, or like past duet rounds into showstopper, you could, everyone there was just doing their best. It's not a competition at that
Right.
point. It's like everyone just like wants to help each other, right? Like we're all just rooting for each other. Like, we're hoping we get through, but really it's all love, especially top 24. We're not competing against each other. It's like we're all just seeking the same sort of love that we're putting out. And like it's as much as it's a stressful, intense, competition, it's like it's really just, what you give is kind of what you get. But yeah, no, it's some of the coolest experiences ever. um yeah, man, it's weird. It's like, doesn't feel, man, it's just such a big part of my life. And then it's like, now I just try my best to make the most of it, right? It's
But it seems like it's left an impact on you, whether it's the people that you met and stayed in touch with, or the memories you made, or what you got out of it, what you learned from it. I mean, I'm sure even though it's been a little while since the show aired and you were on it, it still has made an impact on you in some ways.
Yeah, a huge impact on me for sure. I mean, meeting some of the most special people I've ever met, and people that'll be in my life for I hope ever. And yeah, like it was after I got cut, dude. Like they and I get it, it's how it is and whatever, but like they drop you, right? Like we got cut, and then yeah, we all hung out all night, and then like 9 a.m. I'm flying back to Canada, and there was probably a solid month of like couldn't get off the couch depression. like I'm serious. Like I have, like, it's such a high and then such an immediate low, and you do not, like, all your like friends, you kind of want to leave all your friends that you made, like, just like, that made it through. Like, you're just okay, like, just do your, just like, you kind of leave them alone, because it's like they're doing their thing and they're focused, and it's and you just wish the best for them. But like, oh man, like that was gnarly. And then I kind of got it right. Like I had no idea, like, because I had no original music, I had no anything, and I didn't know how to play guitar. But really, I slowly picked myself out of it, and then learned how to play guitar, started writing a lot of my own songs, reaching out to producers, other writers, writing songs, and now I got like 8 songs that are unreleased. And then started gigging. I put a band together, and put a whole bunch of, now I know a whole bunch of musicians, and then set up my own shows and this and that, whatever else. And it turned out to be pretty profitable summer. And so I by the end of it, I really got the hang of it. I think the biggest struggle for me as a musician, and doing it quite frequently, um, is that it's such a high every time I perform, and so the lows get real bad sometimes, right? Like the it's like anything you do in life, right? Like it's this big thing, and then I think my biggest struggle is dealing with the lows, but yeah, I always come out of it, and then it's like, and then I feel good, and then I want to get back at it and stuff. So I think that's maybe something I want to see if I can work on for next summer, and then yeah.
Cool. Let's go back to some of the people you met, because as you said, I mean, everybody talks about how it's not a competition, and I'm so happy that that's the way it is. But I would love to hear if you want to tell me about the people that you met. Let's start out in Texas. Do you remember who you met in the auditions and who you hung out with?
Yeah, Cali, obviously. I remember we were one after another, and we both got golden tickets. And I met Jody. Jody's one of my good Jody Silvers, wicked guitar player and all around performer. Garrett Murphy, or I remember Jordan Blue. I remember when I first met him, he's like, dude, like, where the fuck are you from? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, about that. He's like, yeah, no, great dude. I remember we sang Santeria. Yeah, dude, wicked singer.
Yeah.
Wicked singer. And his friend Lake. He had a friend named Lake.
Oh my God. Dude, I don't know if you've heard the story about what happened when they toured together and they met someone, and he like Jordan wound up in the middle of the street in the middle of the night. And then the same girl who rescued him in the middle of the night, they all went swimming together in a lake. And then she had to
Oh,
stop
yeah.
That, that was
That's
one
how
of
he
the most,
got the name.
yeah, that's one of the most
Yeah, that's
wild
funny.
experiences I've ever
I
heard
remember he
about.
called him Puddle a few times. He called him any body of water. Like, you just call him any body of water or something. Puddle
Yeah.
or river or something. Yeah, it was yeah, cool, really cool, dude. There was this real short lady. Her name was Tiny, they called her, with the singing dog.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, really cool, man. I hung out with Garrett lots. Really, really cool hanging out with him. But yeah, I remember me and Noah Thompson, we auditioned in the same city there. And I remember seeing him and with his friend Arthur, and I introduced myself, and I think we actually got to the airport at the same time. We were in the same shuttle. And yeah, he was really country. I remember shaking his hand for the first time, and I was like, those are the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. Like, if like his hands are the size of my head, like giant hands. I feel like a little kid shaking like his hand. I'm like, get those huge things away from me. Like, they're giant. He's
They
yeah,
crushed the competition, literally.
literally, like he just picked up the competition, he just squeezed it. He's like, all right, that's all right. And I don't know. Thank you so much for being here. Like, he's like, dude, he's so humble. He's like, he just like, man, couldn't believe.
I was just gonna say that I don't know who it was, and I didn't know if it was Jordan or somebody that was just like, I got to the Idol auditions. I was trying to find my footing. I was a little bit shy. I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, what are these people like? Is it a positive vibe? And I just go up, and this guy comes up to me and does a backflip, and it was Cameron Whitcomb. Now I don't remember who that was that said that, but I just remember that somebody,
Is
one of
that
my guests, told
Danielle?
me that.
No.
Lavelle,
Was
maybe?
it Danielle or was it Ava?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Who knows? I mean, everybody talks about you. You're popular, so
Yeah, well, I did a lot of backflips for sure. I think it was maybe I'm just like, I'm bad at meeting people. I think I think if I don't do something immediately ridiculous, then they're like, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not bad at meeting people. I'm pretty good, but like, I don't
you
know.
must be. You can't not be outgoing. I mean, you just seem like you have that friendly, charming thing.
Yeah, I don't know though. If I don't stand out immediately, I feel like I lost. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an attention whore. I'm probably just an attention whore. That's
Are you a socially anxious person?
um at a I try not to go out to the club or like the bars or go downtown, because I feel that's where I feel unless I'm drinking, that's where I feel the worst. I think, like, I don't like that. My face always gets real hot, and And I don't like that. I don't like being in groups of people that I don't really know. I get along with everyone, but I've had too many times where, like, I'm I'm an okay looking dude, and I'm pretty outgoing and whatever. And then, there's always just that one dude who just like, wants to ruin it. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man. But yeah, so I just like just stuff like that. Just people say mean stuff sometimes, and I'd rather not. Like, I'm just like, but um yeah, no, I'm not socially anxious. I don't know, man. Kinda.
I think you could have a yes or a no, because I think in certain situations the answer is yes and others are not.
Definitely.
Idle, you're not with. Let's take the club for example. You're in a weird, dark environment where it's loud, and you have to say something that people are going to remember because there's the music that you're competing with and all these other people. But at Idle,
Yeah.
you're all musicians. You're all there for the same reason. You're all bonding. There's
Totally.
camaraderie, you know.
It seemed like everyone I met on Idol, almost everyone was real friendly. So I think I felt really good about that, but at the same time I was always terrified of getting called for something and being put on the spot immediately. You know what I mean? I think that that sort of anxiety was like just kind of lingered.
Going from the audition to Hollywood Week, that's a whole different level because there's so many more people, and it's like a whole nother realm of the competition where they're doing so many different things. It's like a whole different production probably. So what do you remember about arriving in Hollywood Week and the experience of just getting to the Orpheum Theater in California?
Yeah, I try to go back and I try to think of my initial um first time meeting like a lot of the people I ended up becoming really, really close with. Um, oh yeah, Fritz. I obviously met Fritz for the first time in Texas. I remember him getting up in front of everyone, and I knew right then that that kid was either going to win or going to be like what top five guaranteed. I knew right there. I was like, that kid is there's something about him. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then Hollywood Week. I remember getting on the bus. I think I had a bit more confidence going to that, especially after getting the golden ticket. But I definitely stayed really, really like just knew that I was just what I am, and just did my best, and I tried my hardest not to compare myself to anyone else. And that's one of the biggest struggles too, like comparing yourself. You get in your head, you go, okay, well, this chick is singing Whitney Houston. Like, I can't, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even have a falsetto, man. Like, this is ridiculous. But it's, yeah. Um, so that was a big thing, but I still just, yeah, I remember meeting Dan for the first time. He mistaked me for someone else. He thought I went to his audition city. And so I remember him looking at me like he knew me, and he's like pointing at me and stuff, and like, like, hey, like, and I'm like, I've never seen you in my life. But I was doing the same thing because I was like, I didn't know what to make of this
We're still
situation. So
vibing. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
like, yeah, we're like, whatever, however you want this. Like, I'm in. I'm in. I've decided I'm in. But yeah, and then he's like, hey man, were you by chance auditioning in LA? I'm like, no, man. He's like, oh man, well, I thought I knew you. And yeah, dude, he was funny right off the bat. I love Dan. Love him to death. Great dude. Um, yeah, no, yeah, no, Hollywood Week is I remember Patrick was his name. And he kind of runs the contestant section
Mhm.
of the show, and he's been there since season 1. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, like, he's been there forever. And I remember him saying Hollywood Week is what you make it. Lots of waiting, tons of waiting, lots of like just on your toes, like just make the best of it. And I just always kept hearing that in the back of my head every time. I was like, dude, we've been on the clock for 16 hours, and I'm exhausted, like, and starving. And like, this is ridiculous. But
I was just gonna say, Like I was thinking about the hunger part. Like of all the things I don't know if I could handle as a contestant, the hunger. Right now, I'm a little bit hungry. I cannot imagine what you felt after 16 hours, day after day.
Yeah, well, dude, and here's the thing, you're starving, but you're also so on your toes and kind of pretty anxious. So it's like you don't even eat. Like it's seriously, and then if you don't eat, that's when you're in trouble because you're just weak and it's like this. You really, really have to just kind of force yourself to eat, even if you're not hungry, or don't feel hungry because you are hungry. Like nobody goes 12 hours without eating really unless you're
Yeah.
sleeping, but you know what I mean, like no, like you gotta eat, man. And yeah, so but yeah, you know what I mean, like if it was easy, everybody would do it, you know what I mean?
Man, yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like obviously the one of the takeaways is that it's just an accomplishment to be there, but another accomplishment is just getting through it because to go on a TV show in front of all those people, I mean, I don't know what the pressure's like just to kind of have that audience and knowing that people are watching. It's obviously very exciting to get the exposure, but also, you know, you are an air contestant. I'm very curious what it felt like to actually be somebody that people knew. You know, you have clips online, there's social media, people really know who you are. America knows you, you know?
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. Like I think the biggest thing for the biggest benefit I gained from the show was the notoriety, right? Like the publicity, the platform it's given me on Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing, to be able to be like, okay, like I'm an established artist, right? Like I have the following, I have this, and so that was definitely a benefit. Like it took me a while to kind of get used to some of the negative comments, that sort of thing. Like I got pretty thick skin, but definitely some of them were gnarly. Like these people are so creative when it comes to mean comments. Like this one lady on that Hawaii episode, which is not my best show by any means, but anyway, it was like she like commented, she's like, this is an embarrassing day for Canada. Like that's pretty
Oh,
gnarly. That's pretty severe. Like, but
gosh.
like, yeah, no, it was funny reading it. It was like, it was a bit of a like, oh my God, people are pretty brutal, but it's just the internet. That's what's gonna happen, right? Like,
Yeah. No,
you
they
can't win.
gosh, I mean, in the olden days they would film on like this was before social media. They had like I don't AOL or something and like I remember the first season of American Idol they would make the contestants on camera read mean comments and they would film them crying, which is pretty cruel.
Oh
At least
my
now they let you
God.
do that off camera.
Oh, here I lost you. Should we explain the situation? I'm listening. You're talking to me on the phone because I couldn't
Yes.
hear you. This is fucked. I hate technology. I
Yes.
forever will hate it.
We just spared you guys about what 15 minutes of trying to figure out why the audio cut out completely on your end. It's
I
yeah.
couldn't even because I could hear other, like my audio didn't shit out. I don't know who or how. See, this is why I don't get technology, and I will never get
Yeah.
it. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's just a fact of life.
And I'm still having anxiety because my headphones that have the audio like you know what? I don't even know why I'm explaining this to listeners. I'm pretty sure we're all good, but basically guys, this has been a bit overwhelming, but we're good and we're going to keep talking about Cameron's Idol experience. So, here we go. The last question that I ask if I remember correctly is what it was like to just sort of go from filming this stuff to actually seeing people commenting. And you talked about like the mean comments, and I was telling you how in the olden days of American Idol they would actually film contestants reading mean comments, like whatever was in like 2002, like AOL Messenger or something, and like they would film the kid crying reading the thing, and it was like really brutal to watch. So at least it'll make you guys do that.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. At least we don't have to do that. Yeah. You know what? It's Yeah, I think a lot of it like I don't think I would have ever made it as far as I did if it wasn't like if it was back in the day. Like I feel like it was a lot more intense back in the day. It's still really, really intense, but like man, like waiting days just to get a shot at like going in that room and singing for those judges. And Simon Cowell, oh my
Oh
God,
my
man. Like
god.
if I would have had Simon Cowell as a judge, I don't think I would have made it very far at all.
But he's
at
he's
all.
kind of a soft. He's kind of a softie now, though. I don't know if you ever see him like on America's
I think
Got
he's a real
Talent.
softie now. Well, he owns both shows. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah,
He
X
owns
Factor and
yeah, so he owns it all. Like I think now with all this cancel culture, you can't just tell someone how terrible they are and like watch them cry. And like I think it's pretty soft nowadays. Like there's nothing. I don't know.
yeah. I do have an
but yeah,
idea.
it's
What's
yeah,
that?
yeah. No, it's yeah. But no, it's cool. It's cool for sure.
Yeah. Well, you kind of did get to experience all the different parts of being on Idol because you film the auditions and then you film Hollywood Week. You get through that and you go on the live shows. So you know what it's like to actually be on live TV. What was that like?
Live TV. Pretty cool. It was yeah, like man, it feels like there's and there is like millions of eyes. Like it feels like you think it would feel. And yeah, it's cool though in the back of your head you can kind of picture your family watching you and how they're reacting while you're kind of on stage and singing. I think yeah, I would have liked to do more of that. Canadians can't vote, right? Like Canadians
Yeah.
couldn't vote, which is definitely the biggest bite in the ass. I'm the first and only Canadian male to ever make it top 24. And I don't know who went first, me or Ishan, but I know that I think like because I don't know how many Canadians there were in total right from the audition process. But I don't know if it was me or Ishan that went first, but I'm pretty sure I was the first Canadian male with a golden ticket. But it could have just as well been Ishan.
American Idol should take a note from Dancing with the Stars because they switched from regular network TV, ABC, to Disney Plus, and you can vote from Canada on Dancing with the Stars USA. So maybe Idol should do that.
Totally. If they're gonna let Canadians on the show, like, man, I would have. Yeah, but then like I don't think they would ever in a million years let a Canadian win American Idol. Never.
I don't know. They had Canadian Idol for one point, and then it got canceled, so now they let the Canadians on American Idol.
Yeah, well, Canadian version of these American TV shows is just like Walmart. Like it's like a Walmart. It's like I'm like can't like yeah, right? Like it's not. It's kind of I don't know. It's like it's cool, but it could be a lot cooler. Like, I don't know. Canadian stuff. It's yeah. I don't know. I think TV's better off in the United States, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it was. I think it was still pretty. I'm guessing satisfying, even though it's sucks to not having done more rounds. You literally saw every part of what it was like to film that show. I mean, like I said, to get to the studio in the same room as where the winner was, I'm sure it was neat to sort of be like, wow, like all of us that are in the top 20 have made it to this point because the judges thought we were good enough to be in the 24. And then even making it through that extra round, it's like, here you are. This is the group that is competing to win American Idol. That's a big deal in that room of so many people that have competed for that spot,
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, and that's just it's so weird, this whole setup we got. I'm all like I can't hear myself really, and then I'm like
I can hear myself and I'm getting anxious because I'm like, usually I hear myself louder in my headphones and I can barely hear myself in the headphones. But
I know.
The audio meter says it's recording the levels. So like
Perfect.
We're probably fine, but at this point I'm just trying to recover because I feel like once you have 15 minutes of like technology fuckery, you're just kind of like trying to get back in the zone, At least this isn't live. So, there's that.
That's true. If it was live, that'd be pretty embarrassing for sure. That's what I don't trust. Live TV electronics. Like, how does a guy even deal with that? Like, that's insane. Man, computers are out to get me. It's just a fact of life. Something I got to deal with. I've never owned a laptop, and then I went out and bought a MacBook Pro because someone told me it was like what I need to like. Dude, it was like $4,000 just about like, and then I bought like a Scarlett Solo thing, and then this guy here, and whatever. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. like everything's so expensive. But
the crew that puts on the Idol shows, I mean, they clearly have figured it out to a point where
such a cool crew. I liked everyone, man. I liked everyone. I liked all the handlers, like the contestant handlers and stuff. Liked every one of them.
Amy.
Like Amy is insane. Love her. Like my dad was like, that woman knows what she's doing. Like she's insane. Love her to death. But like that is someone I would never fuck with in my life ever. Such
Military
a sweetheart
mom.
too, but real stern, like real stern. She's like 4 feet tall, and she feels like it feels like she could like jump and kick my head off with a steel. Like she's crazy. She's a lot. Love her to death though. She's like definitely like a mom. I remember because my dad rode his Harley from Vancouver Island out to LA so I could film that motorcycle riding little section with his bike. He was gonna take my bike, but his bike looked cooler. So I was like, whatever. But yeah, so I remember I was getting on the bike. She's like, wait a minute. Whoa. What's happening here? Like you're some kid from Canada. Like this is LA, man. Like this is LA riding. This is different. I was like, I got this. She's like, okay. She was all concerned about it. I was like, such a mom. I love her.
Yeah, so a military mom, disciplined but concerned.
Exactly. Like nothing's happening to any of us under Amy's watch.
So going from the hotel where you filmed the auditions and then the big theater doing Hollywood Week and then a television studio, not less about the actual location and more about the experience of what each stage of the competition entailed, what was your favorite part of it?
Definitely just hanging out. I did a lot of napping. I didn't nap too much in Hollywood Week, in the holding room there, because there was a lot of people. And I remember the first time I tried to like put my head up against the wall and have like a little 10-minute nap. Jordan Blue shot me in the head with a Nerf pellet, little Nerf bullet. And I'm like, I'm never sleeping around here again. You guys suck. Like, quit picking on me. Yeah, he's laughing. I'm like, motherfucker. That's funny. No, he's a good dude. He's like, he had like a little Nerf gun thing and he was shooting everybody. Fucking guy.
Man, this is fun. This is like the show that you didn't see on the show, hearing these stories,
Yeah. And that's just it, dude. Yeah, like there's tons of behind the scenes that you would never ever get. Yeah, me and Fritz just hanging out. Tons of hanging out. I remember like I'm surprised he never just like hated me by the end of it, but our rooms were pretty much beside each other when we were in Hawaii, and I would harass this guy all the time. Like all the time. I'd go like unannounced, didn't care, pound on his fucking door until he's like, dude, what do you want? Like, I'm like, we gotta go get food. I'm hungry and I don't want to go alone. Like I need somebody to hang out with me. He's like, dude, like I'm kind of just want to relax. Like I got this show to do. I'm like, yeah, that's great and all, but none of that plan entails my plan to not go alone to the fucking 7-Eleven across the road. So like, get your fucking shoes. We're going right now. So I would kind of like, it was pretty funny. He's still my real good buddy. Talk to him every now and again. And I'm so stoked on what he's doing, man. I'm just so stoked for all of that. But yeah, I fucking tormented that guy for sure during that.
He seems like the most fun guy. Like I've never met the guy, but he strikes me as the most fun guy to torment because it's like he's the most chill, kind, cool dude to hang out with, and yet it's like, leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just it, right? Like his jokes are so funny without him trying to be funny. Like he's just man, and he's just so talented. Love hanging out with the guy. I learned so much from Fritz, like learned so much, right? Like just as an all-around musician, just like watching what he's doing and trying to Like, you know, he just knows what's up, and which is really cool. Yeah, man. By the time we got to, I think we were in LA for the last time. I was personally there for, I think, just about a month, and hanging out in the trailers and stuff. Like,
They're all side by side, and there's like 10 of them, but they're all side by side.
Exactly, yeah. And it's crazy how close you can get with someone when you're just forced to be together like that all the time.
Yeah.
Like Sir Blake, me and him, he went and introduced me to his buddy there, and went and got tattoos and stuff. I love Sir Blake, man, just a wicked dude. And obviously I every morning I'd bring Ava a Red Bull, because if she didn't have a Red Bull, she would not be in a great mood. Like, she's just who she is, and I love her unconditionally for it. Love her to death, and I don't think my experience on the show would have been at all what it was without her. So love her, miss her every day. I miss all of them every day. It seemed like we all kind of had like a separate little kind of thing with each other, you know. Like I'm pretty sure I got a one-on-one with just about everyone there. Yeah, me and Fritz and Christian would hang out. It was just jokes the whole time. Like, yeah.
Tell me anything like fun or interesting that you remember about Ryan Seacrest or the judges.
Yeah, Ryan sat beside me, and he said, "Nice watch," and I was like, and he had a really, really nice watch on. Like it's like one of those watches, you know what I mean? And I my grandma gifted me a nice Bulova for my graduation when I was like 17, and so it's my favorite watch. But I wore it every day, and he was like, "Hey, nice watch." I was like, "You want to trade?" Because this is like some insane like diamond. I was like, but yeah, Ryan, he's man, he is good at his job. Insanely good at his job. There's a reason he gets paid what he does. And like there's nobody else that does what he does like him. Like well, there is, but there isn't. Like Ryan is just, he's without a slip. Like even when he slips, it's so smooth. It's like he just knows what he's doing. And I guess that comes with experience, but and whoever dresses him is doing a fantastic job.
Yes.
Yeah.
20 years later, still looking sharper than ever.
Oh my God. Seasons. Yeah. Yeah. They at American Idol, I'm pretty sure they accidentally when I got cut, I was like, "Hey, I need some content to post like right away. I need to make like a thing, like a post," and like, "Oh, okay, sure, yeah." And it's sent, like they sent me the entire folder of photos they got of me, and they must have accidentally put a few of Ryan Seacrest in there, like because they're totally like not great photos of the guy. Like they're right underneath his chin and stuff, and I'm like, these photos are hilarious. But I'm like, yeah, they definitely accidentally sent it to me. It's like Cameron Whitcomb pictures, and there's 2 photos of Ryan Seacrest in there, and like in UGG boots in the rehearsal, his rehearsal. So he's wearing UGG boots, skinny jeans, and a cardigan, and it's really funny. Yeah, I don't know, cool dude. The judges, Lionel gave me a no at first, but he ended up being my favorite. Totally. Like he brought me aside when we all went to that Hollywood top 20 reveal party together, or top 14 reveal, I guess, because we got cut. And he pulled me aside. And he's like, "Man, like really, I'm just so stoked for you. Like seriously, like me and the Commodores had to, you know, go from New York to LA 1,000 times before we even got on the level you are now with your the platform that this has given you. So keep going. You got a future for yourself." He was like incredibly genuine, just an all around amazing guy. Luke was like, "Hey man, like you weren't technically even really singing to start with, and you really came around. So so good for you. Props to you. And Katie gave me a big hug, and it was really funny. She's like, so what are you drinking? I'm like, oh, unfortunately, I can't drink in the United States. I'm only 19, right? And in Canada, I'm legal, but not here. And she goes, well, good thing you're getting sent back to Canada. I was like, that's brutal. That is brutal. Like, she's hilarious. And then she gave me a hug. She's a sweetheart.
Different tone than what Lionel Richie said to you.
Yeah. I love Lionel. He ended up being my favorite for sure.
Yeah, and interesting that he said no, and then at the end, you know, but sometimes that's what you need. You need somebody who pushes you, and then who really has your best interest all along. You know,
it was cool to watch him come around. He really came around around the duet round. I remember after me and Tristan were done, he made this whole big speech about like me and Tristan and whatever else, and yeah, and it was really cool to hear. He was really stoked about it. Yeah, man, that guy smells like a fine leather sofa.
Who, you know Tristan or Lionel?
Like, he's Lionel.
Oh, I was like, you're talking about him. I was
really,
like, which one?
No, yeah, he smells like a real nice couch. You know what I mean? A real nice leather couch.
That's a good reel awesome to use for Instagram.
Yeah,
you're just saying he smells like a nice couch.
Yeah, for sure. Like leather and bourbon. Great dude.
Very specific. I like that. So what is it? Okay, the feeling of like going to that party after you get sent home, is it weird because it's a celebration, but also 6 of you guys are going home? It must have been an interesting vibe that night.
I stayed up all night, like just about all night. Couldn't sleep. But we all hung out. My little brother Spencer and my older brother Max, they came out to watch that show. I remember getting cut on stage. I remember looking over at them like I really let them down. Like I felt like my world had just like ended, right? Like I remember going back to my trailer. They sit you down with like a therapist, and she kind of just hears you talk for a little bit. And then I'm kind of trying to process it. Like my eyes felt like they sunk into the back of my head, and I didn't want to see anyone or, and then I remember like my brothers were leaving, and I walk out of the trailer that I'm in after talking to that like therapist lady, and she was a sweetheart. And then I remember they came up to me, and they like, it felt really good when they walked up, because they were like, dude, that was incredible. That was the coolest thing we've ever seen, man. It's okay, dude. And kind of gave him a chat. I was like, oh, well, that kind of felt good. And then I said bye to them. And then I think her name was Miranda or something. She walks up and she hands me the in-ears that they paid for on the show, those headphones that we were on stage. She passed me those with my name on it. I looked at them and I just broke down. I'm like, I couldn't even, like, you know, like when you're a kid and you start going like, you know what I mean? You're crying and you're just like, and I was like, and I don't cry like that. And it was, yeah. And then I kind of had to switch up and then go to this party. And it was almost like, and it's the worst because I can't drink. Like I can't drink in the States, right? I'm not allowed. So it was the worst, like just trying to like, and I'm sober and I'm like, oh man, but really it was a really, really, really nice like conclusion, like a really nice kind of end, especially for the night. Like it was great seeing everyone getting to officially talk and meet with the judges and stuff, and then we all hung out after at the hotel, and we got lots of tears, lots of see you laters. Yeah. Later on in the night, like my brothers came back and hung out. My brothers hung out with all of us and the rest of the contestants. It was funny watching them. Like Max and Spencer, they're losing their shit. They're starstruck because they've been watching these people on TV already up until that point. They're like losing their mind, right? Like they couldn't even believe it. Like meeting all these people they see on TV. Noah and Spencer were like arm wrestling or something, and Max is talking to Dan, and they're the same age, and Max is just like, he's so funny. Like I don't see him like he's real socially, like he doesn't know what to do with himself. It's pretty funny. It was really cool, like having my home world part of this other world that I've created for myself throughout Idol. And it was cool watching them clash together. And that was a really good thing for me, especially ending it all off. And then sent home, and the rest is just me trying to stay on top of it.
It's been fun to challenge my guests because I asked this question like 3 times now. If there's one word or even a sentence to sum up your American Idol experience.
One word to sum up my American Idol experience. Man, no.
Yeah.
No. Again, those words of Patrick will always stick with me. It is what you make it, right? Mm-hmm. The whole thing is just what you make it. It's if you're feeling shitty, it could be real shitty, but like it really, if you just try your best and it is what you make it. It is what you make it.
And you made some lifelong friends probably, and you made those memories and experience on TV and exposure to the platform. There's a lot of good that came out of it.
Exactly. Right. Like it's, I'm forever grateful for the experience. And yeah, I'll take it with me for the rest of my life. And now it's just, I've had a taste of that Hollywood cool performing stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I'll do anything in my power to get back to it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Now, obviously you're an aired exception on this podcast, but do you remember, I don't know, like if you actually like went back and watched any episodes, but from the pre-recorded stuff, do you know if they like still cut anything and didn't show like all of your bits on the show?
Well, yeah, my genre round never got aired.
Uh-huh.
My genre round never got aired. Also, I remember like I had kind of like a side story kind of thing, and maybe it wasn't very interesting, but like I'm 2 days before I had to leave for Texas, my girlfriend left me, like, which kind of sucked, but at that point I was still like, didn't even really think about it. But then when I got home, I was like, oh shit, like what happened there? You know what I mean? Like that kind of sucked. And so I was like still pretty bummed out about it. But then, yeah, I felt really, really good once I got back to Hollywood Week. I was like, man, this is fantastic. Like I, kind of totally changed everything for me. I felt really good about it.
Do you remember like who was in your genre line and what the genre was?
Oh yeah, Luke Taylor.
With a deep voice like this.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Luke, he is hilarious. Love the guy to death. Like seriously funny and just a great guy. I talk to him all the time. He made me a voicemail with his voice. It says, "You've reached the voicemail of Cameron Whitcomb." Like, man, it's real sick, crazy deep voice. Yeah, Jody, man, Emily Faith, gorgeous.
So that's a country line that you're in, no?
Country line, yeah. So I was country, and I was like, I'm wearing a fucking cardigan. Like, I'm not country. Like, well, I'm kind of, but not really. Like, I'm like,
you're not even from this country.
I'm not even from that country. I grew up like in town, like my uncle had a farm and stuff, and my whole family's real blue collar, but like for the most part, I'm like not really like a country kid. I would never claim to be, but yeah. So country line. I remember when they brought us all out after I did my singing there. They lined us all up, and I could tell immediately. I was kind of like one of the last people to get called forward. I could tell immediately who was going through because they called Mike Parker. Love that guy. Oh my God, dude. Hugging that guy is like just like the best hug ever. Like he's huge, man. He's just this huge guy, and he's such a cool guy. Like just an all around really cool guy. But yeah, and I could tell immediately, and I was like, okay, like whatever. Like at that point I already felt like I won because I just felt really good. But yeah, I remember I think the most the craziest I felt the whole time, like the biggest surge of excitement was definitely when they called my name to step forward. And I was like so in shock, I couldn't even breathe. Like I was seriously hyperventilating because I could not believe I made it through. Like I was sure I wasn't making it through. And yeah. And then I think by the end of Hollywood Week, I had so much confidence in myself through like after, making it through duet and genre. By the time I got to Showstoppers, I think that was probably my favorite performance I ever did, other than the last one I did. Just because at that point I felt so good about myself, right? Like, and Ava, just like I just felt like I just had like I was confident. I felt really, really confident. So that was probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm. And also in Hollywood, you met, was it Lauren Elena that was like the alumni mentor? I mean, that was earlier, but before your genre challenge.
Yeah, I never really chatted with her. I don't think we ever had a proper chat. So I never got to speak with her. Yeah, she's incredibly talented though, like super cool. But yeah, I never really got to chat with her. I think I was really overlooked. Like I don't think they looked too much into me until I started creating this kind of like kind of being more myself, but like an exaggerated version.
Right.
To an extent, like I was really like I was just like, okay, like I'm meant to be here, like especially after making it through that genre round. I was like, man, like I kept feeling better and better about myself throughout the whole thing. So I was like, my brother bet that if I made top 20 that he'd get like the American Idol logo with my signature underneath it on his ass cheek there. I'm pretty sure you've seen that.
Wait,
yeah,
I think Danielle Finn told this story.
Yeah. So my brother, like I made top 20 and he and then I forgot about it and he texted me, and it's like a huge American Idol logo. Huge. It took 6 hours. Blue, big blue with my name underneath, and I was ass cheek. It's huge. Yeah, no, it's wicked. Yeah, wow. He's a Sheldon. Sheldon's his name. He's a nutcase, but yeah.
So overall, you got exposure, experience, and a tattoo on your ass. What more could you ask for?
Lots of tattoos. Yeah, I big tattoo guy. Me and Ava, we went to a tattoo shop one day. Cost me like $400 to get this 10-minute tattoo of a person shrugging because somebody hit her car, shrugged, and drove off. And I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so it was like a big inside joke for us. And so I was like, that's so funny. I'm going to get a tattoo on my leg.
I mean, You had a blast, didn't you?
Loved it. I miss my friends a lot.
You guys need to have an idol reunion. I mean, I don't know if you guys plan stuff, but to see each other, it's so hard to get everybody in one place. But like, imagine if you could just get.
It's impossible to get everyone in one place. But yeah, we definitely should. I'd be interested in something like that. Maybe I'll wait till I'm 21 so I can finally have a beer with all my buddies. Yeah.
If you want to plug any socials or tell people what they need to look out for, whether it's shows, music, anything like that.
For sure. Yeah. Keep on the lookout for new music coming soon. Been writing every day, working with lots of producers. And I signed with a manager. So I'm hopefully going to be on tour next season. Lots of cool stuff on the way. Just stay tuned. In the meantime, I'll be working my ass off trying to save up and be able to own all my own stuff and do it myself. So thank you so much for having me. Great chatting with you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys. Make sure to follow at Idol Unaired Podcast, Instagram, TikTok. Cam, thank you so much for being a part of American Idol Unaired.
Cheers, brother. Have a great night.